Your attention, please.
The DisGeek Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the DisGeek Podcast. This is the podcast that's all about the Disney theme parks, but mostly Disneyland, but not today. It's going to be mostly Walt Disney World. I'm your host, Daniel Hale. Let me introduce you to one of our DisGeek crew members. It is Jes Jones. What's up, Jes?
Hey, Daniel. How's it going?
It's doing really good. You know, it's hard to get us all together at one time. Tommy and Chris have been out. Chris mostly has been out a lot, and it's just he's in the process of getting married. He's getting married like soon, if it's not happened already. It's like within the next day or so, or this weekend possibly. So first of all, big congratulations to Chris and Tommy.
Congrats, Chris.
That's amazing. But Jes, you're busy too. You're out there. You're not even home. You're like in Washington and.
I am in Washington right now, yes.
And then, last time we tried to get together for a recording, you had to evacuate because you were in danger from the holy fire?
Yes, I was evacuated from the holy fire. 15 years of living in Horse Thief Canyon finally caught up to us. We'd been surrounded by fires numerous times on all four sides of the mountain, but it's never gotten that close before.
Yeah.
We got evacuated for like 4 or 5 days before we could come back home. We just drove down to Carlsbad, stayed with Chris's mom and stepdad, took the dogs with us, grabbed up all the photos, and left.
That's crazy. We've never been evacuated, but when we lived in Santa Clarita, there are fires there all the time too. And I remember the mountain just right, like there is our condos. There was like the LA River, which is like dry and gross and full of who knows what. And then on the other side of that was mountains and stuff. And those caught on fire. And we knew people who had to be evacuated and stuff. We didn't have to be. But we've helped them, and I know Tommy, when the fires were up in off the 405 there near the Getty Center, I know Tommy helped his friends evacuate. So we've all been affected by these fires. And everyone in Southern California and Northern California knows, man, these fires are no joke. So we're just glad that you guys are okay and that everything's back to normal, relatively normal anyway.
It's getting there, yeah. Thank you, yeah. Thanks to everybody who has sent me messages and prayers and thoughts and love and good vibes and all that stuff. It's helped a lot.
Yeah, we were going to record that.
Pretty rough couple of weeks.
Yeah, we were supposed to record that night, and then I just felt wrong, to be like talking with Tommy about like, isn't like, check out what's going on at Disneyland while you're like running for your lives, and you're worried about your animals and your neighbors and all that. It felt wrong to me, so I postponed it, and now Tommy can't make it. But I didn't
just can't win.
I can't win, and I felt like I didn't want the listeners to wait any longer, and Tommy gave his blessing to just go ahead. So we're gonna just go ahead and make the best of it.
Awesome.
So we'll start off with some really interesting news. Our feature topic this evening is going to be the future of Walt Disney World. The last episode, we talked about the future of Disneyland. And one of those stories is not possibly not in the future anymore. And that is that Disneyland's new Upscale hotel has been put on hold. And the word is indefinitely. So that's kind of, I'm actually okay with it. I kind of like was never a big fan of like this, 5-star luxurious hotel popping up in the middle of downtown Disney. I wasn't a fan of it. My joke was I look forward to walking through it. And
yes, walking through the lobby. Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like it. We already have like the Grand Californian, and it's just, I don't know. It was just weird to me. I feel like, and Universal Studios in Orlando, they're kind of doing it right. They're like the last 2 hotels they've built where, quote unquote, value resort.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I put that in quote, but like they're affordable, and it just seems like Disney's going the opposite direction these days, which is okay. They can do whatever they want, but I just I don't know. I was never a big fan of it. But the reasoning behind this is crazy. And to be honest, I really don't want to get too much into it because it's politics, and there's going to be sides. And, if you look at the article that I'll have a link to on the LA Times, it's the LA Times. It's slanted. You can just look at the comments and to see that it's just all like good for Anaheim. And then there's the other side, like stick it to them, Disney. And it's just crazy, and it's political, and I don't want to get into it, but it has to do a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a lot more to the story that's not being told either.
Sure. So. It had to do with subsidies and tax breaks that Disney was counting on to build this place, and Anaheim saying, no, you moved. Disney changed their plans and moved the hotel to a location that wasn't agreed upon initially. And so according to Anaheim, that makes that original deal null and void. And so now Disney's coming back by saying, oh, okay, well, we're going to cancel it altogether. And so Disney loses the revenue, jobs are lost, revenues lost, everybody loses in a way. But the latest and greatest news to come out of this story is that now Disney's calling on Anaheim to just say, look, we have all of these agreements that are all over the place. It's taxes. It's all nuts. Let's just cancel it all, get back to the drawing board, and let's just let's work on a new deal. And maybe we can meet some middle ground. So I think Disney is going to try and make it work, which is a good thing. And Anaheim, the mayor and the city council, they're happy about that. So, everything's being brought back to the table. But on just sort of a personal level, I kind of hope this hotel dies.
Daniel wishes death to the hotel plan. All right.
Or at least like it doesn't. Now, the idea was luxury hotels. This wasn't necessarily a Disney idea. This was an Anaheim idea. The original, like the old, I guess, city council and stuff who Disney had worked with were giving tax breaks for hotel chains that were going to build luxurious hotels to bring in, more money and turn it into a vacation destination and all this stuff. And Disney's definitely not the only hotel, not the only company doing this. There was I think one or two other hotel companies, which I don't know the name of, that were involved, and they're building their luxury hotels. And so it wasn't just a Disney deal, but Disney's the biggest player.
Right. Okay.
But
yeah, I didn't even know that part of it. So
yeah, it's crazy.
There's a lot of info on it. It's just...
But Disney and this mayor and this city council, this term, they've been going at it for a while now. Yeah. They've the Eastern Gateway project is another example of where they couldn't get it. They couldn't work out their differences, and so that got canceled. And so I was under the impression that Disney was just going to wait till November and see what happens, see if they get some new blood in there.
For sure.
And maybe they are still waiting for that. And meanwhile, they're like, well, let's all just, hold up. It's all games. It's all politics. I don't understand half of it. So I think I'm just going to move on, other than say just like the hotels is put on hold. And that's why. So another thing that is happening is D23 is going on sale. Actually, when this podcast comes out, they will have been on sale. They actually went on sale yesterday of our recording, and it is the early bird pricing is out right now. So if you want an adult one-day ticket, it's $67, and for a child, it's which is ages 3 to 9, it's $49. And if you want a 3-day ticket, it's $177, and for kids, it's $125. And that's like the early bird, That's
for D23 members only.
That's correct. I forgot to mention that. It's for D23 gold members. We were a member, but we sort of let it slide because whatever.
I was the first year. I was definitely for the first year. I have
We-
my little certificate
Yeah, we
for
weren't
being
there
an
for
original
the
member. And then I let it expire because it seemed like a waste of money to me,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think Tommy might still be on it. I know he was there from year 1. I started year 2. I wasn't in it for the first year. The second year I joined and I paid for like that second year because D23 was happening, and I signed up for it so that I can get the discounted rate for D23. And there was a couple of like cool programs they had. Like one time we got to take a tour of the studio, and there was a guide, and it was kind of embarrassing because I kind of knew more than what the guide was telling us. So it was
Yeah, that happens with me. That's why I just don't do that stuff anymore.
I remember we were standing outside of the theater. Of the theater there, and he was talking about the history of the theater and all this stuff, and then we were starting to walk away, and I was like, dude, turn around, that window up there is Walt's office. Point that out. Basically, at least then, and it's probably still the case today, is that the majority of the studio is leased out to other production companies.
Yeah.
So in fact, I remember when I was there, they were editing oh gosh, what was it? It was a non-Disney movie. I knew that much. And they were pointing it out because we were walking through the hallways and stuff like that. And we were like checking out all the art on the walls and stuff like that. It's super cool, but you'd be surprised to know that like a lot of Disney studios isn't Disney. They use it for editing, and they use it for sound and voiceover recording for the cartoons and stuff like that. And they do use it, but it's, the majority of those offices and stages are non-Disney productions, which is interesting. Going back
go
ahead.
If they just let only Disney stuff use all of their resources, then there'd probably never be anybody up there, really. I mean, they're just trying to utilize those office spaces and actually just make some extra money. I mean, why not?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that was one of the cool things about D23 is I got to kind of like, it was another excuse to go on the lot, and it was just like, oh, we can go on this tour. And
that, D23 is great, like for, if you're not a cast member, because like, I have access to that stuff and I don't ever do it anyway, but I can go to the studio whenever I feel like it if I want.
Yeah.
I've been only a couple of times, but I don't know. It's not that exciting. And I've done the visit up there with D23 too, and like watched. I think we watched Summer Magic in that Fantasia theater.
Yeah.
One time, like 5 years ago. Me and my friend were both D23 members at the time, so we both went together and experienced that, and it was cool. But I've been up there a couple of times. I feel like once you've walked around the lot and you've seen everything. We specifically actually drove up there to say goodbye to Dave Smith. It was days before he was about to retire. So we went up there to go see the archives because we had never done that. And we bought him a retirement card and signed it. And we got pictures with him and talked to him for a good hour and wished him, good luck and everything in his whatever he was going to do after retirement. And it was really cool. But, when you do something like that, you're like, oh, what's the point of going up there for like no reason?
Yeah.
It's like I've already made like a really magical moment with going up there, and nothing's ever going to top that again. And the studio doesn't really ever change. So, it saves me money and it saves me time by not going there.
Very cool. So that early bird pricing for the convention ends on November 20th. So if you're a member and you want to get that early bird pricing, that's when you have to do it. After that, though, if you're a member, it's $79 for 1 day and $219 for 3 days. And then if you're not a member at all, that doesn't mean you can't go. 1 day's $89 and 3 days $249. So I've only gone to D23 a couple of times. The 2 years that they had it, I went. The first year I went just like as a fan, and I ended up going with my daughter, and we spent probably 80%. And I've told this story on the podcast before, like on our early episodes of how I spent pretty much the entire time at the Disney Channel booth because I brought my daughter with me.
You had your daughter,
and she was all into it.
Yep.
And then the next year we went, it was like I was with some friends from Sorcerer Radio, and we were hanging out, and they were like, dude, you should get like media passes and stuff, and then you can get into everything. And I was like, the problem with media passes is like, if I got a media pass, then I have to work. And I didn't want to work. I wanted to just go and enjoy it. Unfortunately,
do they actually make you do stuff? Like,
no,
do you have to
they don't
volunteer
force
do
you
stuff?
to, but like if Disney's going to give me a media pass, I'm not going to take advantage of it. I'm going to the return is that I'm going to not vlog. That was early days, but I was going to blog about it and podcast about it and do all this stuff, which I did do, but like I didn't want to be sitting there tweeting and worrying about and stressing
And
out.
recording like portions of a panel. Or
Right.
something.
And all that stuff. I didn't want to go there to do DisGeek stuff. I'm a fan at the end of the day, and I just wanted to be a fan. And so that's why I sort of, that's assuming I even get it, you know, like,
right. Yeah.
you know, I could never get a media pass for anything from Disney. Disney's very, very hard to get unless you're like a mommy blogger or something like that. Forget it. And then I just have some friends who get them, but they're grandfathered in. But these days, it's pretty hard to get it, and ultimately, it doesn't matter because I just I enjoy doing it from the sidelines. I don't need to do. I've done the press thing for Adventures by Daddy, so I've gone to other theme park media events, and and it's stressful. Like I take it seriously. And like the one time I actually did do a media event for Disney, I did it for Window to the Magic, and I did it for Paul Berry, and he was kind enough to say, hey, I can't make it, but you can go and just tweet on our behalf. And you can tweet on, tweet using DisGeek as well and go with Calvin. And so Calvin and I went, and I was just like, it's amazing to see, and I've gone to these media events before, how many bloggers like don't take it seriously. And to them, it's just like, look how cool I am. I'm here. And they're taking pictures of their media passes and standing in front of like, look how special we are, and it's like I never do that. I've taken a picture of the media pass before, but not like in a show-offy way. It was just like, hey, we're here. Take a look at the Twitter, because it was Twitter, and follow us because I'm going to be posting updates, so it was more like that. And it's just like, I took it seriously, and it was just like, Calvin's like, why are you working so much? And I'm like, I don't know. I should be. I feel like I should be. I don't want Disney to get mad at you guys. You know?
And you're the type of person that Disney should be handing the pass to, because you do take it seriously, and you're actually, putting out the coverage and like following along with what's being announced like all day, and like letting the public know. And oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, whatever. It's not. I'm like in North Carolina now. It's over.
Well,
those days are gone.
Yeah, but they should have given them to you. They're missing. They missed out on a good opportunity with some good coverage from a fan who would have done justice to the.
They were always like, they were very, very, very nice. They never gave me a hard time. They never said, yeah, you see, your podcast, let's see, how do we say this? It doesn't have the reach that we're looking for. They didn't say anything like that. They just said, we're full. Sorry.
Yeah.
But they were very nice. Like I never, ever, ever had a problem with Disney, the PR people over there. They are always awesome. Like, and I would send them emails and stuff, and and this is another thing. They always responded. Even if it was a no, or if it's a we'll see, we'll get back to you. Like, they've always responded. And so I give them props. They're very professional about it. Even when turning me down, they were nice and professional about it. It was no hard feelings or anything like that. I know they follow, the people who are at press at Disneyland follow our page. They're aware of our existence. I do have access to the press area for the Disneyland news page. There's a login and stuff, and they gave me that. So it's like, they're very nice. They're very, very nice, very professional. And so I have nothing bad to say about them. And this is not me kissing up.
No.
Because we have on time to time on this show have taken them to task. So a lot of times they'll say, oh, don't say bad things about them because then you'll never get that media pass. And I'm like, well, not that I want to say bad things about them, but I want to tell the truth at least. So at least give our honest opinion, not be like freaking Lou Mangello, where everything is just roses and stuff. So it's like, sorry, no offense to Lou, but it's just like, you can tell who's in the can. Right.
Yeah. Well, I won't even.
Anyway, whatever. We're getting off on a tangent. That's what happens when there's just two of us. We just there's nobody here to crack the whip and keep us going. Tommy's always like, keep it going. He cracks the whip and he's not here. So anyway, the next thing I got is the Disney Parks blog released an awesome story about the foodie guide to Halloween time for 2018.
Time.
And I haven't studied it too closely at this point. I'm just looking at the pictures and just salivating and just like, this is all stuff I really can't eat. But I mean, it all looks, it's basically, let me hear. I'm just like, without even looking at the text or nothing, I'm just counting pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm scrolling. All right. 7 churros.
Yeah. That's a little scary. There are a lot of churro things happening.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
The park has gone churro crazy this year, folks. If you are a churro fan, you feel like all things churro. I mean, none of it's actually food. It's still all dessert. I mean, that'll be the day when they actually incorporate a churro into like an enchilada or something.
Yeah.
But
they're working on it.
These are all dessert offerings, but there are too many to count churro offerings for Halloween time this year. It's right. Quite daunting.
Let me read some of these churros out. We have orange sugar churro with candy corn sauce, pumpkin spice churro with cream cheese frosting, churro bites cereal sundae with ice cream and stuff. Let's see. The churro sundae with cookie butter gelato
garnished with a cinnamon sugar dusted churro and topped with cajita and whipped cream.
It's insane. There's a Maleficent churro. Where's the orange wall churro? Has that happened yet? Or the blue wall, whatever that's called, the purple wall?
There's even a s'mores churro, folks. There's a s'mores churro.
Yep.
It's literally a s'mores churro. Graham cracker, chocolate chips, and marshmallow drizzle on a churro.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, seriously, if you love churros, come to California for Halloween time.
Yeah, the sour apple churro. Oh, and the ones that we read, that was Disneyland. California Adventure has their series of churros, and one of them is what you just mentioned, the s'mores.
Yeah, that's s'mores churros near the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail.
This one says it's Willie's churros, which is purple, green, and orange sugar. What the heck? Pumpkin spice.
Purple, green, and orange sugar, and then there's also a pumpkin spice churro.
They're calling it different names, but it seems like they're like this is a purple sugar churro. They're just calling that.
Well, you know how they change the colors for Halloween, so these are just purple, green, and orange, so Halloween colors. Those are regular churros, and then they also have a pumpkin spice churro.
Right, and then of course they have their series of candy apples.
Yes.
You can't forget about the candy apples. So and cake pops and Rice Krispie treats and all that stuff. And I could read the list, but we'll be here forever. Tons of stuff, tons of sweets and snacks. And then of course they have other food items. So that, the one thing
there's some favorites returning, I see, but then there's some other really inventive ideas coming out this year too.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll have a link to the blog and you can see it. And there's tons of cool pictures. I can't describe food very well, and half of the names I can't even pronounce, so I'm not going to bother. But come on, look at this one. I see the picture, but I'm trying to match the name with the picture, but it looks like it's like pasta wheel wagons with corn chips.
Alien Pizza Planet Cosmic Chili Pasta, pinwheel pasta chili, cheese, and green onion. That's got to be it.
That's it. So anyway, tons of stuff. Halloween time is one of the best times there. And it's really funny because I saw somebody mention when I first saw this was, why does Disneyland get all the good stuff? It's the same it's the same company, but they don't produce this at Walt Disney World, and it's like, why?
Well, but they've got food and wine. It's so much better over there than ours.
Yeah.
I mean, ours is great, don't get me wrong, and ours steps it up every year even more and more. But theirs is just enormous because it's at Epcot. That's like 3 theme parks in one.
Right.
I mean, when you think about Epcot, it's like DCA 3 times over.
They could, DCA can fit into the the lake.
Yeah, for sure. So, we've got to have some good food, and I think that they're stepping up their game on the food. And I've got to hand it to them. Every year, it gets better. And most of the best food is still at DCA. Disneyland is trying very hard to keep up, but DCA does have the better food, folks. If you are coming out here and you think you're not going to want to go to DCA, you just want to go to that original theme park, think again. If you like food, go to DCA. It's well worth it.
Do you think the food's so much better at Disneyland because of the fact that it's that Disneyland and the Disneyland Resort, is mostly locals?
I think that's why. I think I think that's my theory. I think that they have stepped up the food game because they know that we are mostly filled with people that are annual pass holders who come again and again and again. And if you want them to actually spend money, you need to change up the food every few months.
Yeah.
And I think that they finally have figured that out. And that's why we have these delectable menus every season that comes through. And we celebrate these seasons more and more every year. They just get better every time.
Yeah.
That's got to be the reason.
No, that's a really good call. I was thinking it's because annual pass holders, like this, just because it's like a more fickle audience, but I think you're right. I think it has to do with like having, if it's just, your typical theme park food, then like you're not going to want to come back and over and over. At least you're not going to eat. You're going to show up, go on the rides, and leave.
When I was a pass holder in the 90s, and food never changed at the park.
Yeah,
food was the same every year. The food was the same. We didn't ever have these like specialty item foods to celebrate the holidays or any of them. I mean, sure, there'd be like extra Christmas cookies or something every year, but that was about it. But with them changing menu items and having specialty menu items that they're only available for a few weeks, they're getting the money of those annual pass holders. Or like, oh, there's new food to eat.
Yeah.
Because back in the 90s, you're like, I've eaten everything here like 50 times. I don't need to eat today, or I don't need to eat anymore at the park. And you would just pack some snacks and you wouldn't spend any money.
Yeah.
So it has to be the reason why they've decided to do it. I mean, it's also another reason to get the tourists in too, oh, hey, they're celebrating, But I think mainly it is because the majority of the people in the parks every day are pass holders. They want them to spend their money too. And they are doing a good job at that.
Get this. So we just got annual passes. Well, it's a season pass for the rest of 2018 and 2019 for Cedar Fair, which is basically, it's Knott's Berry Farm in California, but it's also Cedar Point, Carowinds, and Kings Dominion and Kings Island, I think it's called.
Kings Island in Ohio?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's part of all the same company.
Cool.
And Knott's Berry Farm is in that group as well. And I remember thinking this about Knott's when we were there. But get this. So we were there. We were at Carowinds yesterday. It's amusement theme park, amusement park, roller coaster park. I love all the coasters. I'm a theme park junkie. Yeah. Everyone knows that. I'm
Daniel
really
likes those coasters.
I'm all about it. I'm all about that theme stuff. So I love it. I love it so much. And like, I'm so happy that we have these passes now, because now we might go to Cedar Fair in Ohio next in 2019. But anyway, And we've never been there. But get this. So there's 5 of us all together. And we decide we want to have lunch. We get 4 orders of chicken tenders, okay, and a drink.
Okay.
And my daughter got a slice of pizza. All right. So and a drink as well. So 5 drinks, 4 chicken tenders, and a slice of pizza. How much do you think that cost us?
I don't know. Disney prices, it's like $10 a person.
All right. So that would make it $50.
So like 50, so somewhere around maybe $60.
Okay. It was $85.
Oh my God, what?
And that is with a season pass discount of like
wow
5%.
See, and people complain about the Disney prices.
And that's why I brought that up, because I am telling you, other theme parks are worse than Disney
They're
will
way worse,
ever
and the
be.
food's not even good.
Parking there is $25. I'm sorry, $20.
Yes, parking is more expensive at other parks too.
Parking is more expensive. Food is more expensive. One of the things they do is they say, hey, spend like $45 and we'll give you a season pass for food. And so in addition to your regular season pass, so you can get, it's kind of like a dining plan. You know what I mean? So they offer that, but we never get it because we don't go enough to justify.
Right.
But now we're like, God, that was $85 for chicken fingers. And my daughter,
it's like kids menu items.
yeah. And my daughter didn't even finish the
ridiculous.
pizza because it was so gross. How do you screw up pizza?
I don't.
So anyway, that's on Knott's Berry
gluten-free?
Farm too, because it's the same parent company. And I remember we ate at Knott's one time and we were thinking, what the heck? So Disney food prices are not that bad. They're high, but it could be worse.
Yeah, and at least it actually has flavor and it tastes good.
Yeah. That was insanity. Awesome park though. Aside from that, Carowinds was awesome and it was amazing roller coasters. We had a great time. I'm a bit of a theme park snob. I'm proud to admit that. I don't, that's just the truth.
Fine.
I am a snob about it, and so I went there with the lowest of expectations because it is like a Magic Mountain type of theme park, and you know what? The staff is the same at all of these type of places. They're teenagers, 0 F's given, but it wasn't.
Yep.
It wasn't that bad, and it was clean and. With cast members, employees, it's 50-50. Some of them are happy to be there. The other is like, when's my shift over? So, you're rolling the dice with the staff. But, we went on a Thursday and it was, the park was dead. We walked on the rides. It was awesome. So
nice.
So Carowinds gets a B from me. And the only reason it doesn't get an A is because of the food prices. That was insane. But we're talking about Disney.
You could give grades to the food and then give grades to the park overall. Give them an F for food and give them an A+ for their park. I don't know.
You got to hold the entire experience. You got to have the entire experience. I'm grading the entire experience. But let's talk about Disney. Again, where's Tommy to crack the whip? He's not here. I think I'm going to title this episode, "We Miss You, Tommy." Daniel won't shut up. Well, here's a topic just really quick. It's more of like a mention just to let everybody know that this exists. I think that when this episode airs, this thing's going to be closing down pretty soon, I think. And it's
It's done already.
It may have already, to be honest. I'm not sure.
Today is the last day it's open to the public.
Then why even bother mentioning it? Never mind. No.
It's done. It's done today, and the private auction is this weekend.
Okay. It's the This is Disneyland exhibit. It's in Sherman Oaks. Tommy went to it. I wanted to go more in depth and talk about that exhibit because Tommy went.
Sure to check our Instagram feed if you want to see pictures of the exhibit. Tommy went.
There you go. And he got us some awesome pictures. And they were all over Instagram. So, yeah, definitely check out our Instagram. And you could see some of the really cool stuff that they had there. My favorite was the mailbox, and I want it. I mean, I had other favorites too, but like the mailbox seems like attainable. I didn't see how much it was, but like in my mind, I'm like, it's just a mailbox.
Right.
but you never know with them. So,
Probably like $3,000 or
yeah. You're probably right about that. It's like $500 for like their
especially depending on how old it was.
It's like you can get their 2016 tax return or something like that, and it's like $300. But anyway, why don't we go ahead and talk about the future of Walt Disneyland and our feature topic.
And now we present our feature presentation on the DisGeek podcast.
This happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
All right, we're going to talk about the future of, like, just pointed out to me that I said Walt Disneyland. So I meant Walt Disney World. I was staring at other things, and my brain is not working tonight. But I don't know. We're not recording as late as we usually do, so I don't know what my excuse is this time. I guess I don't have one. So the first couple of things. Well, the first thing we'll mention is we'll go through this like we did last time. Talking about some of the future projects that are going on over at Walt Disney World. I'm very excited for pretty much all of these. I mean, it's going to be pretty cool. One of them's just like, whatever. But, let's go through the list. Yeah, but
Star Wars, duh.
Yeah.
Of course you're excited.
We're very excited. We'll start with that. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to be at Disney Hollywood Studios. And, they're getting a late start. They've had some delays due to weather and hurricanes and stuff like that. So they are opening after Disneyland's version, which might be a good thing because they can kind of see what happened at Disneyland's version, see what works, see what doesn't work. And then from there, kind of figure out what the kinks are and work it out and open strong.
Hopefully that's what happens.
My understanding is it's somewhat of a clone of Disneyland's version. I think the entrances are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be in different locations.
Yeah.
But it looks, just like Disneyland's. It looks great. We're looking forward to it. We're starting to see construction photos come out, and you can start seeing some of the mountains and stuff. Disneyland, of course, you can see all that as well. Like right from, Tom Sawyer's Island. There it is, off in the distance. Star Wars Land. So we're looking forward to it. I'm not going to go into detail. We've talked about Star Wars Land before and the attractions and all that stuff. So another thing that we've kind of glossed over in the past is item number 2 on our list here, and that's the Star Wars Hotel. And, we've talked about this as well, where it's just like it's going to be like this immersive,
Themed
experience. Hotel. And it's going to be almost like a cruise where it's like, you only stay there for I think they have a max amount of time that you're going to stay there, and you check in and you check out, and it's connected to Galaxy's Edge, so that will be part of the experience as well. Almost like a Westworld in a way, where it's just like there's going to be actors inside. There's a storyline, and you're involved, and there's pictures.
Yeah, and they give you a costume to wear, so you actually look like you're supposed to be on the ship.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
insane.
According to these pictures. That's what it looks like you're doing.
Yeah. I get the feeling it's going to be another one of these I look forward to walking through it deals. They probably won't even let you in. Like, you're not a paying customer.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Get out.
If it's that immersive, you probably won't even be allowed to go into the hotel unless you're staying there.
There'll be a guy at the bar, and he'll be yelling at non-payers and droids. We don't serve your kind in here. Get out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, all right, if you really want to go, the best you can do is save up Save up, budget your life.
Start saving now, folks.
You know what? If you put if you just say to yourself one day, once a week, I'm not going to have Starbucks today, but put that money in a jar. You'll be surprised what you can come up with at the end of the year. You know, so save up. That's what we're doing. The next item is Ratatouille at Epcot. And this is going to be, I guess, a clone of what they have at Disneyland in Paris. It's very cute. It's a screen-based attraction. We're taking
also
lessons.
Trackless like Luigi's.
Very trackless. It's very cute. I've seen it on YouTube, and it's well themed. It's well done, and I think this is cool. This goes into the thing that, like, I know a lot of people don't like this, and I think I heard this on the Disney Dish with Jim Hill. And he basically said, look, the people out there who love Epcot and for what it once was, like, and everything's just sort of like characters now and IPs and, stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah.
Just get used to it. He flat out said, get used to it. That's the future.
You just have to. Yeah. You have to get used to it.
And they just, Universal, their whole thing, they're all about IPs, and they will, if something's no longer a thing, they won't hesitate to tear it down. And he was kind of saying that Disney is starting to sort of take that attitude as well, which is going to be interesting. Like, it's like I see something like this where they put not a lot of effort into something like Ratatouille, but man, are they putting in a lot of effort into the Star Wars land and stuff like that. But that's why you see so many screen-based attractions at Universal. They're cheap to make, easy to put up. And when Transformers...
Easy to swap out.
Yep. And when Transformers is not a thing anymore, it's gone. And they'll put whatever's the hot ticket item, for at least, the next, 7 to 10 years or whatever like that. I see Harry Potter lasting a long time. But something like Fast and Furious, that'll be gone soon. It just opened and I'm already like, yeah, that'll be gone.
Yeah, but I mean, you're absolutely right about that. They use their IPs, in line with the popularity, and then as soon as it wanes, they're moving on to the next thing. And their attractions are built just for that.
Yeah.
They're mostly screen driven, and you can change that stuff out pretty easily and pretty inexpensively.
Yeah.
Without changing the entire ride system. So they know what they're doing, and they do it pretty well.
Yeah.
They never have the kind of crowds Disney parks do. So they've got to keep on their toes and keep up with the trends and have something to offer for people who've been there before and, are considering not going to their park because, well, I've seen all that stuff already.
I love that how Universal works. I love how they're being aggressive. I think the fact they're building, they still got yet another, they just opened a hotel and yet they still have another one being built. And this new one, Adventura, something like that. It's a tower. It's very sleek and modern looking. Adventura, I think that's what it's called, and it's just super cool looking. And it's a budget. It's a value. Again, I put that in quotes. It's expensive than the Holiday Inn, but compared to like the Hard Rock Hotel or the Portofino or whatever, it's way cheaper.
Or
than
any
that.
of the Disney ones.
Yeah. It's supposed to be sort of like in line with like Disney's, value resorts.
All Star resorts.
And all that stuff. So good on them. I like Universal stepping it up. I want them to fight it out every year so that new stuff comes up. And we get to do shows like this where we talk about all the cool stuff that Disney's doing because it's awesome. So there.
Well, yeah, it kind of keeps a fire lit under Disney's butt, to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. You got to keep up with Orlando.
That's right.
You got to keep up with that competing theme park that's right there.
And since we're
stealing all their guests from them.
Yeah. I have no shame in admitting this, but we are thinking about going up there Thanksgiving time. And we've already decided, like, our next Orlando trip is going to be a Universal only trip. and we're going up there. And again, we don't spend like 7 days up there. We spend 3 days. And so like we went up there last time. It was a Disney trip. We spent all 3 days at Disney. We crammed it all in and we got it done. Of course, we don't see everything, but that's just another excuse to go again. And so there's so much to do over there. And this next time around, we're like, okay, I really, really want the kids to see Diagon Alley. And not Diagon. Is it Diagon Alley? The new one. Diagon Alley is Islands of Adventure.
Yeah, that's the new one.
That's the new one, right?
We only have Hogsmeade.
Hogsmeade, correct. All right,
Hollywood.
I'm getting my Harry Potter locations mixed up. So yeah, Diagon Alley. We saw Hogsmeade at Universal in Hollywood, and they loved it. I loved it, and I love the Harry Potter stuff. So I'm looking forward to showing them that. I've seen it, and I was blown away. As this theme park snobby geek
I've never been
that
to
I am.
Universal Orlando, so that would be
gorgeous.
Be just so much fun.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. That's all I could say. And it's fun, and I want it to keep going. And you know, we're talking about IPs, and so that's the next one. We got another one coming to Epcot.
Perfect segue.
Yep. Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is in an interesting place right now, so we're going to have to see how that plays
Let's
out.
skip over that.
We'll have to skip over that, but there is a ride coming out. Batista may or not be in it. I don't know. But this is going to be an indoor roller coaster, and they're saying that it's going to become one of the biggest and longest indoor roller coasters in the world. And that's awesome. And it's really cool. It says it's going to open in time for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. So that's 2021. Seems like a lifetime away, but man, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sad what it replaced. I liked Universe of Energy, but I think this will bring some much needed life into Epcot, along with Ratatouille and
Future World in general needs life.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something to look forward to for sure. That seems pretty amazing.
And I'm a coaster guy.
Because that is a huge building.
You know what? I've seen pictures of it, and I didn't realize what they were doing back there. And it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Have you seen the construction pictures?
No.
Like there's a new building that they're building behind that thing. And it's like, you think of
it's even bigger.
It's bigger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll have to find that. Check it out.
All right. So next one is an attraction that we really don't know a lot about, other than I'm assuming it's going to be sort of a mixture of, I don't know, like a dark ride mixed with screens, kind of like a Spider-Man-esque or Transformers-esque ride, but I don't think it's going to be like action-packed like that. I'm talking about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. That's a mouthful.
Okay, yeah.
At Disney Hollywood Studios, and I'm picturing in my mind kind of like a slow, like dark ride. It's in a car, so maybe you're moving at a quick pace, but I'm picturing something where you're moving from screen to screen to screen. And
it's going where the Great Movie Ride was, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so. And seeing as it is opening in the beginning of 2019, I'm going to say they left the ride structure alone.
Okay.
And they've pulled a Universal, and they've just swapped out video screens and settings. That's my guess.
Do you think they would build like a new track, like instead of having these big boat-like vehicles going across?
I don't think they would waste their time and money on it. It seems like this is something they're going to change out maybe over and over again, because this is just based on like a short.
Right.
And it's not like a memorable short. It's one of the new ones.
Right. It's sort of this new animation style with Mickey
So
Mouse.
I'm thinking that they're trying to take a leaf out of Universal's book and try this whole temporary kind of thing. Maybe something that's only around for a couple years before they change it again.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I guess. I don't know anything about Disney World.
Yeah.
Being a cast member doesn't give me that much inside information, I promise you. But yeah, that's what it seems like it is to me.
Yeah. I'm with you. I didn't think of that. I was thinking something more elaborate. But I see your logic there. I'm sad about the Great Movie ride going away.
Me too.
I really did enjoy that. It's just one of those. To me, that attraction was like uniquely Disney. You know, that's something you would see at Disney, and like a Pirates or It's a Small World or something that's just like it screams Disney. And the Great Movie Ride was one of those things with animatronics and sort of this mix using live actors as well. So I mean, it was pretty cool. But who knows? They had to get rid of it. You have to get rid of something. Something has to go for, you know, Mickey Mouse based screen rides. All right. Another one is. This is the one that I was like, kind of blah on this. I kind of don't care. But they are going to build right next to Mission Space a fancy new table service restaurant. Right now they're calling it Out of This World, but I'm not sure if that's like the name.
Okay.
And one of the cool things I remember, like when I went to Epcot for the first time ever, is we ate at where Nemo and Seas is now. And they had a restaurant in there, and the big walls were like the aquarium. And so it was like having dinner in an aquarium and looking at the fish.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that stuff like on TV shows in the 90s.
It was super cool. It was super cool. And I was
like, oh, I want to eat there one day.
Exactly.
I never did.
So this, to me, sort of it has a similar thing going on where you're looking out giant windows, but it's going to be in space. And it's like they're making it look like that you're in orbit around the Earth and that you're going to see satellites and astronauts and all this stuff. And I bet you the room kind of moves and rotates, or so the screens rotate, whatever. But it's going to be like these giant windows. And, you know, it could be cool, but... You know, it's a restaurant at the end of the day. But you know what? I shouldn't just dismiss it, because at the end of the day, also, Be Our Guest is just a restaurant, and it's almost impossible to get in there. So sometimes the restaurant can be an attraction in itself.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sounds like this is what they're, you know, trying to accomplish with this one, too.
Yeah. And maybe that will kind of also... take some pressure off of Be Our Guest and more people could enjoy it, because I know that's like, I know with Walt Disney World you got to book your tables, and if you're a guest, like you've got 90 days, or I think it's even longer or more if you
6 months in advance.
Yeah, and even then it's still hard to get into Be Our Guest,
and that's why it's possible for the regular folk to get reservations for anything.
Well, now when last time we went to Walt Disney World, when we met up with Sam and Ashley and Michelle from the Ear Avengers, we all hooked up and we went, and for giggles, Ashley's like, I'm going to see if we can go to lunch and Be Our Guest. Just for giggles. Let's just see if there's a table open. It doesn't hurt to ask. And we ended up getting in. And so,
oh my God.
So we got lunch, and there was a last second cancellation, or I don't know what happened. I don't know exactly what happened, but all I know is we got to eat lunch at Be Our Guest. We're told it's not the same experience as dinner. It's not as nice of a menu. It was just like whatever. But we got to go inside and see it, and see the ballroom and the library room and all that other stuff. So it was really neat. It was a neat dining experience. So we're glad we went, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we did that. So
right.
So when we went to Walt Disney World, like with our kids and stuff, we're like, yeah, we're not even going to try. Like we're going to watch, oh man, I always forget his name. The animatronic at the, oh man.
The Cosmic Ray?
Yeah. That dude. He looks like Alf.
Sunny Eclipse?
Yeah. Sunny Eclipse.
At Cosmic Rays?
Yeah, so we just
right?
settled. Yeah, exactly. So
Walt Disney people aren't yelling at the.
I know it. I just couldn't remember it off the top of my head.
I've never seen that. I walked past it and I was like, "Oh, that's the place people always talk about," and I just kept walking.
Right.
I was like, "I need to get to a ride.
Right.
I don't have time to walk through a restaurant."
I think the wall over there now is a bigger attraction than Sunny Eclipse, but hey, times change.
Oh boy.
So I got two more things. One is the big one, and that's the new Tron coaster that they're going to be opening at Magic Kingdom. And I as a coaster guy can't be any more excited for this one. I've seen it at Shanghai, not personally, but I've seen pictures, I've seen video. It looks super smooth, super cool. I love Tron. I'm a big Tron fan, and I just this is long overdue, but I am so excited that they decided to build this at the Magic Kingdom Park, and I can't wait to ride it.
Amazing.
It's going to be sort of like on the other side of the Tomorrowland Speedway. And it's going to be like sort of on the other side of that. That's where it's going to be located. And dang, it looks cool. That's all I can say.
This is awesome. So they've got some really great stuff planned for the big 5-0 at Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And which is great because we had a lot of cool things happen for our 50th.
Yes. The 50th anniversary of Disneyland was so fun. I remember that. I remember emailing in using their website our pictures because they were asking for pictures for the mosaics, and the picture I sent them was basically me, Marley, and my wife. Marley was a baby. She was less than a month old. And we took her to Disneyland, and we took a picture of the three of us in front of the castle, and that was the picture I used. And I was just like, I wonder if they'll use it. I can't wait to see if they're going to use it. Yeah, they used it. They used it like 50 times.
Oh yeah.
I guess they didn't get as many pictures as I thought they were going to get, but it was used all over the place.
You were allowed to send them 5 pictures, and Chris was a cast member at the time, so we just copied 5 of our favorite pictures, which included one of our wedding pictures in front of the castle.
Yeah.
And then this one picture that was one of my most favorite pictures growing up is my mom took a picture of me with Rare Fox. Yes, Rare Fox. Because it was 1979. I was 3 years old, and it's very orange and yellow, all of those colors. Because I had a yellow shirt on, and he wears a yellow shirt and a green jacket, and he's orange. So they used that picture. I can't even tell you how many times. It was almost in every single mosaic.
Yes.
That picture was everywhere. When you went up to the park and you could find out where your stuff was.
Yeah.
They'd give you this receipt and tell you everywhere they used your picture. And then you had fun traveling around the park trying to find it.
Yeah.
And that was the picture they used the most of. But they did of course use our wedding picture in the cast member, the black and white Steamboat Willie mosaic that was right there in the front.
Yeah, we were.
Those
in
were
that
all
one
cast
too.
members in that mosaic.
Oh, then we weren't in that one.
We were utilized in that.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there were just some other just an old picture of me and my mom on the Autopia when I was 7 that got used a lot, and it was just really fun walking around the park finding all those pictures, or trying to find them anyway, because sometimes they were way up high on the top of a building, and you were like, yeah, it's up there somewhere.
You know what? I think they used more than cast members in that one, because I vividly remember. I vividly remember we took pictures in front of each mosaic that we were in and pointed at our picture, right? A bunch of people did that. And we did that too. And I remember standing in the line at that particular one. We were in that one. We were in the one of the dragon, Maleficent, the dragon that was in the castle, which to me, that was the best one. We were in the submarine that was on top of Tomorrowland Terrace. And we were also in Jessie. And those are the ones I remember. And the picture that they used, the one with Marley as a little baby, is the one they used the most as well. But again, another tangent. I apologize. We're talking about Walt Disney World. We always go back to Disneyland, don't we?
We have to bring it back to Disneyland. Come on. We're the Disneyland podcast.
Right. But I keep telling myself, I'm here. I should talk about Disney World too. I love Disney World too. Why not? But I know where my home is. One last thing.
We're glad you still call California home, even if you're not close to
I know. I do. It's still, it's funny. All right, sorry. Another tangent. I'm here. I'm in North Carolina. And just the other day, I'm we've almost been here a year. October will mark a year for my wife.
Oh my God,
and then Halloween will mark a year for us. And I'm still, like, the other day, I swear to God, like, it was pouring rain, and I drove up into the to the garage, and I said to myself, this is such BS. And I'm still like, I can't believe I'm still here.
Oh, Daniel.
But I do like it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's just, I miss home. I just miss it. And it's just, sometimes it's hard when there's certain days where you're just like, it is pouring rain, and it's rained every day for the last 3 weeks. You know, it's kind of like Florida, where we get these storms. And I'm driving to pick my daughter up from somewhere, and lightning strikes like in the cornfield or whatever right next to me. They're tobacco fields. It was a tobacco field right next to me. I saw the lightning crash into the ground, heard the thunder, and I was like, oh my God. I was terrified. I'd never driven through anything like that in my entire life. It's insane. And it rains. These storms are intense. It rains so hard, you can have your windshield wipers at full blast, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help. And there's lightning striking everywhere. And it's just like, damn, this is hardcore. And that happens yesterday, and today is the first day it hasn't rained in weeks. Now, it doesn't rain all day. It just, like, we have these storms that come in. They last about 15, 20 minutes, and then they're gone. But it's like, oh, my God, you know, I'm still a SoCal boy. This is like, I'm still wimpy about all this stuff. So, back to Walt Disney World. The last thing I just wanted to mention about Walt Disney World, and this is just one of those things, I can't wait to see how this is pulled off. It's going to really, really change Walt Disney World a lot. And that's this... these gondolas or whatever that are going to be going, they're calling it the Disney Skylander. And it's basically these gondolas that
Skyliner.
are going, what did I say?
Skylander.
God. It's Luke Skylander, everybody. The Disney Skyliner. And it goes across.
So basically they're adding sky buckets back to.
For
well,
like,
I guess they never had them out there.
Yeah. They're going across but like, these aren't just like for the theme park to get from one side to the other. This is like full on transportation to get from like.
For the whole resort?
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's super cool. And it's like, so like if you're in World Showcase and you exit at, you know, over there to World Showcase, you can get in one of these Skyliners and go to MGM or Disney Hollywood Studios.
Oh.
And you can go from Hollywood Studios over to the All-Star Resorts or something like that. Like, I don't think it's that far. I think it's the closer one.
No, actually, well, I mean, I don't know which ones are which, but it says the transportation system will connect Disney's Art of Animation, Pop Century, and Caribbean resorts and other locations with Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. So
and the International Gateway to. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So instead of taking these buses, I think this is their answer to like, we're not fixing the monorails and we need transportation and whatever, you know, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And I guess that'll do it. The show notes for this episode is going to be at disgeek.com/147. I'll have all of the links and all that stuff over there. You can like us on Facebook, but I'd prefer if you liked us on Instagram. Over at Instagram, I'm at DisGeek Podcast. And over on Twitter, Tommy is at Tommy Picks. Chris is at DizChris. And Jess, where can everyone find you?
I am Jess Jones, 1976, on almost everything. Find me. Follow me.
Do it.
Follow my Etsy store. J Squared Creations. J2.
Absolutely. You know what? These ears are a thing. Like these homemade ears. Like we got to jump on that. I'm seeing videos of like, here's my ear collection, part 3. And then I saw another video is like, here's how you make your ears, you know, and I'm just like, oh my God, this ear thing is a thing. Jess
I
was
learned
on
how
it.
to make ears on a YouTube video, and then I perfected the technique. So, you know, just trial and error, and I make the sturdiest ears around, folks. Ears are not going to fall apart on you.
They're awesome. They're really good. We still have the pair that you gave us for Allison and Marley, and they're super cute, super cool. All right. I'm done for reals this time. We'll see y'all later. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I don't know and I don't care if it's a small world, it's a nice day when you wake up in Disneyland.